Over to some health matters now. U.S. health experts studying the Zika virus outbreak in Latin America and the Caribbean say there is no definitive proof of confirm a link between Zika-infected pregnant women and deformities in newborn babies. In a statement read at the House of Foreign Affairs Subcommittee hearing on global Zika virus on Wednesday, Brazil ambassador to the United States, Luiz Alberto Machado, says microcephaly in newborn babies can also be caused by a number of diseases. His statement was endorsed by the U.S. Congress representative for New Jersey, Christopher Smith.
The Brazilian government has deployed 220,000 troops and 300,000 health agents to fight the vector of the infection by visiting communities to educate the population and help eliminate all mosquito breeding grounds. Experts cite possible links with the Zika infection of pregnant mothers and disorders affecting their unborn children, although they, including our witnesses today, are quick to point out that no definitive proof of such a linkage. According to Brazil's ambassador, and I quote him in part, microcephaly in newborn babies can also be caused by a number of other diseases. Health experts are dealing with something new. The link between Zika and microcephaly is unprecedented, he says, in the scientific literature and requires in-depth studies and analyses. Matter of fact, an AP story that just ran on April 6 points out that the president of Colombia has said that in all of their cases, there's not one case of microcephaly.
In the meantime, the head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Tom Frieden, says he expects a significant increase in Zika infection cases in Puerto Rico since it has always had an issue with mosquito control.
This is a particularly urgent area, and I'd like to show you a series of slides that show what happened in the chikungunya outbreak a little under 2 years ago. In May of 2014, May 5th of 2014, the first chikungunya case was identified in Puerto Rico. By 2 weeks later, it had begun to spread, and each of these slides is a 2-week period. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, and by October, it was in almost all of Puerto Rico and has now affected at least a quarter of the adult population of Puerto Rico. So this can spread very rapidly in a population.
Frieden says the CDC is working closely with Puerto Rico to implement aggressive vector control programs, and Brazilian health officials are investigating the deaths of 3 persons who died after contracting the Zika virus last year. Despite being unable to confirm that the Zika virus was responsible for the deaths, Health Minister Marcelo Castro says the Brazilian authorities are working with scientists at the University of Texas to develop a vaccine within a year. However, he warns that getting the vaccine to market could take longer. And still on Zika-related matters, the University of the West Indies has launched a task force to manage the Zika virus outbreak in the Caribbean. U.S. Vice Chancellor Professor Hilary Beckles says a top priority for the task force is the elimination of mosquito breeding sites across the region. He says this regional research body will provide health ministries with the latest analysis on the Zika outbreak to better manage cases. There is also a plan to host a regional symposium within the next 4 weeks involving officials from local health ministries, public health agencies, and international donor agencies and the tourism sector. Mr. Beckles says he is confident the task force will assist the region in controlling the Zika outbreak since the UWI had implemented a similar strategy in 2006 following the malaria outbreak in Jamaica. And the World Health Organization has declared the Zika virus a global public health emergency. The Zika virus has been confirmed in 5 CARICOM member states and a total of 26 countries throughout the North America and Latin America, as well as the region.